The Christian looks to God for his care, not to the world. Some ministers look to their congregation for a meal ticket. Preach what the congregation wants them to preach. I'd rather lay on my stomach and eat soda crackers and drink branch water and preach the gospel of the Lord Jesus than to have fried chicken and live in the best house there is in the city. Right. Be right with God. That's the great thing. Preach the whole Word. Tell people of their sins. You'll be hated. Reminds me of a little parable I tell of my children. I've got two little girls. One of them's name is Rebecca. She's my firstborn. And Sarah, her little sister, is next. Rebecca's about 12 years old, skinny, long-legged. And Sarah is a little short girl. She's 7 years old. And one night, I place it like this. I was coming home from meetings, and they'd waited up a long time to see me. And they got sleepy and had to go to bed. I come in weary and tired and worn. I laid down to sleep sometime after midnight. And long before daylight, I couldn't sleep, and I got up early to keep from waking the wife up. Went out into the parlor and sat down in a chair. And as I was sitting there thinking of the meetings and praying for the different ones who had asked me requests, I heard a scramble in the children's bedroom. Here come the door bursting open, and here come Rebecca just as hard as she could go. And she jumped up, straddled my knee, and her long legs reached down to the floor. She threw her arms around me and began to hug me. Then I heard something falling, stumbling over the rugs. Sarah was behind her. And she was wearing Rebecca's hand-me-down pajamas with the feet much too long, and she couldn't stand up good with them on. And she was stumbling. And when Rebecca got seated real good, her long legs reaching down to the floor, I thought, well, this is for some cause. And Rebecca reminded me of the church that's all settled, knows all of its doctrine, been in for a long time, well seated. She turned around to her little sister, Sarah. And Sarah was at the door there of the hall. She said, Sarah, I want to tell you something. She threw both arms around me, and she said, I've got all of Daddy, and there's none left for you. And little Sarah, like the minority church, her little lips dropped down, her little brown eyes began to water, because Becky had all of Daddy, and she loved Daddy too. So I stuck out my other leg to her and motioned my finger. Oh, her little eyes brightened up. Here she'd come with them little pajama feet flying, jumped right to straddle my leg. And she's like the minority church. She wasn't so settled down with great denominations behind her. And she was kind of tottering. I was afraid she was going to fall. So I took both arms and put them around her. I hugged her up to my bosom. She snugged down close to me for a few minutes. Then she turned those little bright eyes up to her sister, Rebecca. And she said, Rebecca, my sister, I want to tell you something. She said, it is the truth that you've got all of Daddy, but I want you to know that Daddy's got all of me. That's the way I want it. I may not know all the grammar and all the Greek and all the Hebrew, but all I want to know that Christ has got all of me. I want to be so completely insufficient till I can feel His arms around.